5 model, which has very easy access to the fuel pump. We go to the back seat. You'll notice I already have where the seat flips up. The fuel pump location is right here. It's normally covered like this. You flip this back up, and then this cover here comes right off easily enough. And what you'll need is a fuel pump insert, which is exactly like what I have here. You do not need to buy the whole assembly unless there are other problems like the fuel level sender. If you're having problems with the level sender, then you will need to replace the whole pump, I believe. So in order to remove the pump, there's a few simple things you have to do, and it has to be done quite carefully. It's wise to depressurize the system at first by pulling the fuse for the fuel pump. Try to start the car, it won't start, but it will depressurize the system. I believe that's the simplest way to do it. This is a safety clip here, which was part of a recall. You have to remove this first by removing this screw. You take this out, and then you need to remove a few lines, which is here and here, and these have to be done very carefully. If you try to force these, they can break. If they do break, you're in for a whole other job of replacing them. To remove them, you just wiggle them left to right very carefully. Sometimes it helps to spray a little silicone in here, possibly the day before. And once these are removed, you have to remove the O-ring, which goes around here. I did mine the old-fashioned way, which I do not recommend, just by simply using a screwdriver. I hit it with a hammer here, maybe once or twice. Then I come to this side and hit it here. Eventually it loosens up. Some people make up a bracket like this, which is probably a smarter thing to do. Put it here in the middle and use a wrench or something else to turn it. And once the O-ring is removed, then the fuel pump is ready to come out. And you will notice there is an alignment mark here, which is used to realign the fuel pump after you put it back in. Taking out the fuel pump, also remember you have to disconnect the electrical line, which I believe is right here. This one is easy enough to disconnect. When you remove the fuel pump, make sure that you've got plastic or some rags around this area, because you may spill some fuel. Removing it is you need to jiggle it left to right, move it up and down, turn it, move it at an angle, and it will come out. It's pretty large, the whole assembly. Once you have the whole assembly out, you need to remove it, and you will see that this is at the center of the pump. This is the actual fuel pump itself, which can be replaced without replacing the whole unit. You'll have to, some people replace a small piece of fuel line which goes on here, and some people just use the line that's already there. Once you've got this in, you can reassemble the whole pump by putting it back in. Make sure to line it up with the alignment mark, which is down here. The alignment mark is right there, and tighten up the O-ring clamp and reconnect your two fuel lines. When you go to start the car, it may take a few turns to start it, because there will be a certain amount of air in the line. But overall, not a very difficult job.